story in the NFL, and it's the latest on free agent Aaron Rodgers. Sources telling ESPN the Vikings discussed the quarterback after he expressed an interest in signing with the team, but they're not moving forward with him at this time, leaving JJ McCarthy atop the depth chart, and Minnesota still in need of a backup. More on Aaron Rodgers. We bring in our senior NFL reporter, Jeremy Fowler, with much more. If the Vikings are indeed out of the mix, where does that leave Aaron Rodgers' future?
Well, I'm told that Aaron Rodgers has standing offers from both the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. So it's up to him to decide. This is his first foray into free agency in 20 years. So really nobody outside of his inner circle knows exactly what to expect. I get the sense, although this is fluid, the sense that Pittsburgh is willing to wait this out a little bit. Rodgers is their top target, so they'll see where it goes. Feels a little un-Steeler-like with this move, but they know that they're close. They got to break through in the playoffs. They're hoping Rodgers can help them. They got Russell Wilson, still sort of a contingency, but he's sort of been number 2, number 3 on their list all along. So I'm told Russell Wilson has seen the Giants as more of a viable option for him throughout this process. So we'll see where it leans. Will the Giants kind of get impatient here and then just make a move and sign Wilson or Joe Flacco or somebody else? That's sort of the question right now.
I said it yesterday. I'm a little bit surprised that Aaron Rodgers has as many options as he has based on what we've seen the last few years. But alas, if we get any news, Jeremy Fowler standing by. Speaking of surprises, Jay Fowler's coming back. Could we see a surprise name taken a little bit early on the draft board in terms of quarterbacks?
With trade calls for JJ McCarthy, telling other teams they're moving forward with him as their quarterback. The team plans to add a veteran, but they're not pursuing Aaron Rodgers at this time. McCarthy now enters the offseason as QB1.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing. And listen, I don't like the way Aaron Rodgers is using the leverage, using his past, his accolades, his resume, and what he's done in the past, the whole team steadily at hostage. Now, some of the reports...
He ain't hold him hostage. Move on.
Oh, well,
they're allowing him, just like Green Bay allowed him to do all the things that he did. The Jets allowed, Green Bay allowed it, the Jets allowed it. Just move on.
That's exactly what they should do. Now, this is what I like about Minnesota. The reports came out about Minnesota obviously being in the hunt for trading for him, and what they did right away, it ain't even been 2 days. Oh, we're going to nix that real quick. We don't have time to play them games with you. So obviously you haven't learned your lesson with the last 2 places you've been to, because now here you go, tell the other teams you're not sure on what you want to do yet. Having them wait, using the leverage that you do have, the little bit of leverage you still have, to play games. I'm glad the Minnesota Vikings came out and said what they said. They're going forward with JJ McCarthy because you drafted him for a reason, and you understand what he can do, especially with the supporting cast he has around him, because you saw what Sam Darnold was able to do. He wasn't able to do it with the Jets. He wasn't able to do it with the Panthers. But all of a sudden he comes to Minnesota, and he has a career year. And it's time for JJ McCarthy to step up and do the same damn thing. And that's what he's probably going to do, because what he has around him is very, very special.
Yeah, well, you got to find out if the guy can play or not, Ocho.
Well,
I mean, you keep kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. But listen, even if he couldn't play, we didn't think Sam Darnold would play either when he was with the Jets. We didn't think he could play when he was with the Panthers. But all of a sudden, magically, he turned into goddamn Houdini over there in Minnesota.
But we saw what he looked like the last 2 games of the season. Because, see, there's this thing called expectations.
Yeah.
You tell me, because think about what you just said. You didn't think Sam Darnold was going to do that. Nobody thought Sam Darnold was going to do that until expectations came along. And then expectations came along. Oh, we got to get the number 1 seed. And then what happened? Oh, we're in the playoffs. Then what happened? He turned back into Sam Darnold. You see, expectations is the number 1 killer of goals and dreams.
Yeah.
Because the moment someone expects something of, see, that's the only way you can hurt me, Ocho.
Hey,
if I don't expect anything, if I'm in a relationship and I'm just casually, I don't expect nothing. Hey, you do you, I'm going to do me. It's the moment we have expectations in each other.
See?
That it bothers me, that it hurts me if you do something that I don't agree with.
See what I mean?
So the Vikings started to have expectations. We started to have expectations for Sam Darnold. And you see what happened?
Now you was preaching a little too fast. Now I'm not sure the people in the chat. I'm not sure the people in the chat didn't catch that, but that was a moment. That was a moment a lot of people might have missed because we're talking about football. But that's something that we could apply to life that I think a lot of people missed, but I didn't miss it because as soon as I heard it, I keep that thing on me.
Yeah, you keep it on you.
Expectation. Now bring that to me again. I got to write it down. Now when we get to the end of the year, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all these quotes that I wrote down.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make a nightcap booklet called Unc's Quotes, so that people can apply it to life. Expectations. Just get to one more time.
Yeah, it's the number one. It's the number one killer of dreams and goals. Because here's the thing, Ocho. Sam Darnold, nobody, because they're like, man, he was terrible with the Jets. Yeah. Well, he was terrible with Carolina. Well, we didn't get an opportunity to see him really at San Fran. So everybody was expecting, remember the last two stops that they saw him, that he wasn't that good.
Right.
Okay, so now he doesn't have any expectations. The more you win, the more expectations come along with that. So now, the last couple of games of the season, Ocho, we got an opportunity to get the number one seed.
Right.
Boom. Oh, we're in the playoffs now. Don't matter, blah, blah, blah. Boom.
Yeah. And you know that that playoff atmosphere is different now. That's a whole different ballgame than playing in the regular season. Regular season, he looked phenomenal. It's a different type of pressure. Again, the one word expectation that comes with being the quarterback. Especially in that type of situation. So I kind of understand, and the team you are playing or had to play,
yeah, but that's what happens when you have expectations, Ocho. Like I said, and I like to equate things to relationships because most of the people, especially in our chat, has been a relationship.
Can relate to it, yeah.
It's the moment you have expectations. You see, when a couple's in marriage, there's an expectation. You're going to be faithful. I'm going to be faithful.
Oh.
I'm going to protect you. You're going to protect me.
Come on now.
I'm going to honor the vows that we stood before God and we swore to each other. Now, I have that expectation. But, hey, if you say, hey, what you doing tonight? I ain't going to be able to see you tonight. And everybody, there's no expectations. I have no obligation. You have no obligation to me. I see you when I see you. Holler when I holler.
And you know what I don't like about the analogy and the explanation that you give me right now is the marriage one normally doesn't work. But the one with no expectations, hell, you be friends, you be sneaky links or whatever you want to call it for years and years and years and years all the way down the line because there are no expectations, so there's no failure or reason for anything to ever end.
But here's the sneaky part, though, Ocho, where they get you. You see, the number one cause that will cause a relationship to end is uncommunicated expectations. You see, Ocho, she expected you to get her flowers and you didn't get them. Why didn't you tell me you wanted flowers? She expected you, Ocho, to plan this vacation.
Right.
You didn't know she wanted to go on a vacation. Uncommunicated expectations.
Like
Ocho thought that, you know what? Hey, she's going to do this thing for Father's Day. We're going to do it up, blah, blah, blah. She didn't do it. You see, uncommunicated expectations, but again, uncommunicated, but what's the end part? Expectations.
I like that. I haven't even heard that word before. Not used in this context and actually used together. Uncommunicated expectations.
Yes.
I like that.
She has an expectation, but she didn't communicate them with you.
Right.
You have an expectation, but you didn't communicate them with her. So those uncommunicated expectations, and what happens, a lot of times people have what we call implosive personalities. They hold things. There's only so much you can hold before it explodes. The term, he went postal.
Yeah.
Boom. And so now, instead of just saying, well, Chad, I thought that we were going to do this.
Right.
No, 1 month go by, 2 months go by, 3 months go by,
well,
4 months go by, and it's building.
Wait,
you don't know. It's not been communicated, so you don't know. It's building. It's building. It's building. Boom. Then it blows.
Yeah.
You've been with me all this time. You should have known. You see? How many times have you heard that, Ocho?
All the
time. You know what I
like?
like?
Yeah, all the time. All the time, because you've been with him you've been with someone for a certain amount of time. And women all the time, I know you real well. I know you real well. I knew what you're going to say. You can say something else.
Yes.
She can finish the sentence for you. But all of a sudden, when it comes to certain stuff, you didn't want to.
I didn't know you wanted that. I didn't know you wanted.
You can't read my mind. I threw you hints. I gave you a sign a few weeks ago. A sign?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
In the commercial. I mentioned it when it came on TV.
Yeah, I missed the sign that God gave me too.
Say what you want.
Mm-hmm. You should have told us. Should say I missed the sign that God gave me. I should have left your ass alone about 6 months ago. I missed that sign. But that's the thing. I just think sometimes we take for granted, and you've been in a relationship. Just tell me.
Yeah,
I'm one of these guys, Ocho. Just tell me.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, tell me. I don't have time. I got too much ish on my plate to try to figure out what you want. You can just open your mouth and say, if you want to go here, say that. If you want to eat that, say that. If you want this, say that. But they got me. You know what to talk about. You know what to talk about on them shows.
Uh-oh.
What the heck?
What they got to do with this?
Đợt này chị siêu nhiều video.
Đáng nói. Đảm bảo anh trên có phải nào đủ việc.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn tô tượng. Tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ là chú hề. Các bạn hôm nay tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là kính mắt. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhá. Bây giờ tô. I love you, chị ơi. Tatica ở nhà yo. Hả chị ơi.
Cái đợt mà tụi em ăn được chẳng mớ xong em tăng 4 cân.
50 mấy cân? 56 à?
Tăng 1 cân nữa.
Hả?
Đâu có một tuần tăng 1 cân.
56 cân á?
55 chị. Thôi được 5 ít.
Chị 5 cân này
em muốn nghĩ ra đi, chưa đến 50 cân.
Cân này nó bị sai mà. Cân này
Tôi em tâm chưa đến 50 mà.
không, cân này nó bị tăng 1 cân ấy. Thật ra chỉ có 53 cân thôi. Tăng ở đây chị thành 54 cân.
Sao giờ chuẩn sẽ chị đi nó ngoác cái gì?
Công vừa bảo chị đặt cho một đôi màu trắng ấy. Mọi người màu tím một mắt em.
Nhiều người đi phải chịu không?
Nhưng thì ra đang hot mà.
Có một cái đợt nó là dài mà sao giờ không dép nhỉ?
Đâu, ngày trước chị đã thấy có dép rồi. Ngày trước mà chưa hot chị đã định mua rồi, nhưng mà sau chị không có tiền, chị không mua được. Bây giờ nó nổi luôn rồi. Em thật sự yêu anh nhưng chỉ là quá khứ thôi.